They didn't believe it, not at first. Not even when the reports kept coming in. How could an entire American army pivot, advance through snow and ice, and break a siege in just 48 hours? December 1944. The Ardennes Forest, a frozen crossroads town in Belgium called Bastogne. Encircled American paratroopers were fighting for survival, cut off from food, ammunition, and medical supplies. German generals believed the town would fall within days, perhaps hours. But then, something happened. From the south, through roads the enemy thought impassable, General George S. Patton's Third Army was coming. What followed would shock the German High Command, rewrite operational doctrine, and become one of the most legendary maneuvers of the Second World War. To understand why Bastogne mattered, one must understand the situation in Western Europe in December 1944. After the Allied breakout from Normandy, American, British, and Canadian forces had pushed rapidly across France. Paris had been liberated. The German army appeared to be in full retreat, but Adolf Hitler had not accepted defeat. Instead, he planned one final gamble, undernamed Wacht am Rhein, the Ardennes Offensive. Its goal was audacious: punch through the thinly held American lines, cross the Meuse River, capture Antwerp, and split the Allied armies in two. The terrain chosen was the Ardennes: dense forests, narrow roads, steep valleys. Poor weather grounded Allied aircraft. German armor could move unseen. At the center of this region sat Bastogne. 7 major roads converged there. Whoever controlled Bastogne controlled movement across the southern Ardennes. Defending the town were elements of the 101st Airborne Division, the 82nd Airborne Division, Combat Command B of the 10th Armored Division, and various artillery and engineer units, roughly 18,000 men. Most had been rushed in with little preparation. Many lacked winter clothing. Ammunition was scarce. Facing them were veteran formations of 5th Panzer Army under General Hasso von Manteuffel, including the Panzer Lehr Division, the 2nd Panzer Division, and Volksgrenadier units hardened on the Eastern Front. German commanders believed Bastogne was a prize they could not fail to take. By December 20th, 1944, the situation inside Bastogne was dire. German armor had completed the encirclement. All 7 roads were cut. Snow fell steadily. Temperatures dropped below freezing. Inside the perimeter, artillery shells were rationed. Medics performed amputations without morphine. Foxholes froze solid overnight. By 1400 hours, German artillery intensified. Over 3,000 shells fell on Bastogne that day alone. Stuka dive bombers, long thought absent from the Western Front, appeared in the gray sky, screaming down on American positions. German infantry probed the lines relentlessly. At German headquarters, confidence was high. General Heinrich Freiherr von Littwitz, commanding XL-7 Panzer Corps, issued an ultimatum demanding surrender. The reply from Bastogne's acting commander, Brigadier General Anthony McAuliffe, was one word: nuts. The German officers delivering the message were confused. They did not understand American slang, but they understood defiance. What they did not know, what they could not imagine, was that help was already moving. Far to the south, near the Saar River, George Patton was about to do the unthinkable. On December 19th, Patton was attending a staff conference in Verdun with General Dwight Eisenhower. As commanders debated how to respond to the German breakthrough, Patton interrupted. He calmly stated that his Third Army could attack north toward Bastogne within 48 hours. The room fell silent. 48 hours was impossible. To pivot an entire army, over 250,000 men, 1,000 tanks, and 20,000 vehicles, normally required weeks. But Patton had anticipated this moment. Days earlier, sensing a German offensive, he had ordered his staff to prepare contingency plans. 3 separate operational plans, north, east, and south, were already drafted. When Eisenhower gave the order, Patton did not ask for time, he asked for permission. By the night of December 20th, Third Army units were already turning north. Snow clogged roads, ice stalled vehicles, fuel trucks skidded into ditches. Engineers worked through the night to keep routes open. German intelligence dismissed early reports. Captured messages suggested movement, but not at this scale. German General Manteuffel reportedly scoffed. An American army cannot change direction that fast. But by 0600 hours on December 22nd, lead elements of the 4th Armored Division were advancing toward Bastogne. Inside the town, the situation worsened. German assaults reached within 200 yards of division headquarters. Casualties mounted. Ammunition stocks reached critical levels. Many defenders believed relief would come too late.
On December 22, the weather finally broke. The sky cleared. For the first time in days, Allied aircraft appeared overhead. C-47 transport planes dropped thousands of supply bundles, food, ammunition, medical equipment, directly into Bastogne. Morale surged. At the same time, Patton's spearhead fought its way north. The 4th Armored Division, under Major General Hugh Gaffey, faced fierce resistance near the village of Assenois. German anti-tank guns knocked out Sherman tanks at point-blank range. Infantry advanced through waist-deep snow under machine gun fire. By 1600 hours on December 26th, Captain William Dwight's tank column pushed through the final German roadblock. At 1650 hours, an M4 Sherman named Cobra King smashed through to the Bastogne perimeter. An American tank crewman dismounted, approached stunned paratroopers, and simply said, "We're 3rd Army." The siege was broken. German commanders were stunned. Radio intercepts revealed disbelief, confusion, and anger. Reports contradicted expectations. Timetables collapsed. Patton had done what German doctrine considered impossible. The relief of Bastogne did not end the Battle of the Bulge, but it shattered German momentum. German 5th Panzer Army was forced to divert forces, weakening its drive west. By January 1945, the Ardennes Offensive had failed. American casualties during the battle totaled approximately 81,000, with German losses estimated between 67,000 and 100,000. The 101st Airborne Division earned a Presidential Unit Citation for its defense. Patton's 3rd Army cemented its reputation for speed and aggression. Even German generals later acknowledged the brilliance of the maneuver. General Manteuffel would later admit that the rapid American response destroyed any chance of German victory in the Ardennes. Bastogne became a symbol, not just of endurance, but of operational audacity. Against impossible odds, through bitter cold and chaos, human determination had prevailed. What began as a desperate defense became one of the greatest countermoves in military history. They didn't believe it until it was too late. Patton's 48-hour dash to Bastogne remains a lesson studied in war colleges around the world. Preparation, instinct, and the courage to act when others hesitate. This was just one of countless untold stories from the Second World War. Subscribe to Past Horizon as we continue to bring these forgotten chapters of history back to life.